Welcome back. The Council of the City of Johannesburg has approved a plan to get into a 20-year deal with independent power producers for new generation capacity. City of Joburg MMC for Environment Infrastructure Services Department, Jack Sekwaila, says while this was a step in the right direction, there was still a process that must be followed before the city's power utility can enter into any agreement IPPs on a long-term scale. The next step would be to seek approval from the Department of Cooperative Governance, the National Treasury, Department of Mineral Resources, and the National Energy Regulator. Mr. Sekwaila joins us now. A very good evening to you, and thank you so much for speaking to us.
Good evening to you and the viewers of SABC.
So, and I hope you correct me if it's a manner in which it's written, but am I correct that you are saying it is a great idea, but it still requires approval from these departments? Does that mean that that process has not been undertaken as yet, that this is not necessarily a done deal?
Thanks again. I think you are correct. Before that process starts of seeking approval from National Treasury, Energy Regulator, NASA, and COCTA, then the council must then give us a go-ahead first. So we are glad that at least it went to council on the 31st of January, and councillors in fact did give approval to this particular report to go to seek approval from National Treasury and other regulatory entities for us to give us a go-ahead with this IPPs.
Okay. So you have termed it as groundbreaking. What is groundbreaking about it?
Look, it is groundbreaking for us because it is in fact going to complement the work that we are doing with City Power to try and resolve issues of energy security in Johannesburg. You will remember that we already have one with a Kelvin power station that in fact supplies large part of the northern part of Johannesburg. But this one actually will assist us a lot in addressing in fact large number of issues of electricity in Johannesburg. But again, I'm saying that these are long-term processes that we're embarking on the City of Johannesburg. It's not a short, what you call a solution, but I think it's a step in that direction. But this necessarily will resolve many issues that we are facing in Johannesburg. Look, it is a fact that Johannesburg in itself attracts a lot of people from abroad, in SADC, local migration and so on. So it is our responsibility as Johannesburg to keep on, in fact, thinking about investment in this particular region of a county. If we can't, we are facing a situation whereby currently as we speak, a lot of investors keep on calling us, we keep on interacting with them on a daily basis, wanting to leave Johannesburg, mainly because of the issue of energy security around Johannesburg. They will tell you that, look, we are burning too much diesel in our own companies, it's unaffordable, we think of closing shops, and that means disinvestment. That in fact means people are going to lose jobs. But in fact, we must take this initiative to address that issue of energy security to our own investors in Johannesburg. But not only investors, but also residents as a whole. We are conducting quite a number of meetings. Myself, I think in MMC of Finance, Mr. Mrero, we have been in 2 weeks ago, Modern Fontaine with business people there. They've given us their challenges, quantified how much they are paying in terms of diesel and their accounting losses. In fact, others will tell you, give you numbers, how many people they've returned from their own companies because of this. But this one, in fact, are going to assist us a lot. Hence, we are saying that by come next year, we will be able to generate quite a number of megawatt, 5% away from ESCOM. So we are looking at least give and take 20, 30, 35. We should be moving, in fact, in the right direction.
Okay.
We should be consuming around 51, 59%.
Mr. Sekwaila, let me just get clarity from you. Judging from the statement you made earlier on, you categorically said this is more long-term. And the City Power CEO, Chifularo Mashaba, has said that the power procured from these IPPs would be cheaper than what it's paying to Eskom. And my understanding is that the IPP's unit per price has not been determined as yet because the negotiations with the bidders are incomplete. So are you saying that this is a project that's ready to go, that there are bidders who are ready to be connected to the grid immediately?
Thanks very much. If you remember last year, we did a short-term power purchase agreement that are already, in fact, assisting Johannesburg, given around 500 megawatts that we're getting from them. But those were the short-term power purchase agreement that we have. This one, we're looking at a long-term solution. But you are quite correct that certain negotiations are still on. But this responsible government of Johannesburg will want to arrive at a conclusion whereby this kind of agreement are at the benefit of our own people. We can't allow a situation where you will find that an IPP, independent power producers, are giving us electricity at a higher price that will end up harming our own consumers. That is how the bottom line. In fact, all our negotiations are based on that.
So you couch it in the terms that this responsible city of Johannesburg. I'm still trying to understand. We've spoken about a 10-point plan that could be over 10 years. We've spoken about something that could be over 20 years, which includes, I understand, a deal with the Chinese. But where are we, and how much would it reduce in terms of the power? Let's look at load shedding to make it more accessible. Is it maybe one stage that would be reduced in terms of what South Africans in Joburg have been going through? And what about the installation of rooftop voltaic systems, which the city has spoken about, the installation of ripple relay systems, investment in energy efficiency and energy management systems, which we understand that is not quite where the city keeps on telling us where they are. So can we talk about definitive timeframes that people in Johannesburg can say by June we definitely will have all of these promises that the city is making?
No, thanks again. You are quite correct. There are 10-point plans that we have identified, which this is one of them. There is issue of rooftop solar system that you have mentioned, solar farming, microgrids, battery storage, programs such as waste to energy program. Some of the programs will require money. For example, the waste to energy. And City of Johannesburg, our finances in bad shape. We are trying by all means. Hence, we feel that these IPPs are immediate, in fact, can bring about solution very quickly. But I must indicate to you that I think around March, we are busy renovating resuscitating one of our own abandoned power station, which is Durban Deep in the inner city, which will be able to give us around 50 megawatts. But we're intending to explore more gas tanks and so on, gas turbines, so that we can get around 100 megawatt in Durban Deep power station. So those are quite a number of initiatives that we're bringing about. We don't come all in one day, but there's a work that we are busy with it now. I might not be in a position to give you an exact timeline of each, because currently.
But do you have a timeline? Do you have a timeline for the initiation of smart meters that are load limiting? This is something that the city has spoken about. Smart meters are currently under installations in various areas in the City of Johannesburg. The load limiting devices are already also. They've been done in the southern part, South Hills. In the inner city, we are busy with them in Alexander, currently as we speak. Those are the kind of mechanisms that we're doing to complement the general work that we're doing with regard to issue of energy security. But remember that these devices were necessarily to say that we can be able to reduce the consumption of electricity at peak time. Where time Eskom said that give us 100 megawatt, we're able to reduce
power through these load limiting devices that were busy. But it's an ongoing program that is City Power is kind of currently doing.
So not quite as imminent as you say. Thank you so much for speaking to us, Mr. Sekwaila, Department of Environment Infrastructure Services at the City of Johannesburg, Mr. Jack Sekwaila.